All right, cool. Okay, so I've been a homeschooling mom for about 13 years. My kids are high schoolers. They've been doing the homeschool thing since they were little. Um, my professional background is in IT and organizational management, totally unrelated to anything I'm doing now. And if I had known about being able to get college credit without going traditional path or dual enrollment, it would have been a lot easier. Um, so my personal background is it comes from education. My mom was a high school counselor, and my dad was a high school math teacher. So education was always really, really important to my family, and it was always ingrained in me. You need to go to college. You have to get a degree. You have to do this. You have to do that. So I went, ended up with a huge pile of student debt, and it's like there's so many different opportunities now. Oh, you can come on in. You know, there's so many different opportunities now for earning college credit that didn't used to exist. And so that's basically what we're talking about today. So my teens are probably both college bound. That's just because that's the direction they want to go in. My daughter is really into sciences and biology, and she thinks she wants to be a doctor. We'll see. She's got time to change her mind. And my son has dreams of being an engineer. So both of those types of fields are going to require a college degree. But it doesn't mean that they can't take advantage of the opportunities that are out there. So one of them, you know, when people think about earning college credit in high school, a lot of times you automatically go to dual enrollment. You know, taking classes at ACC if you're in that zone, or taking classes at Temple College at the East Williamson County Higher Education Center if you're zoned for Temple. And those are great opportunities, but sometimes they don't always fit with your lifestyle or even with whatever you feel you might be able to afford. So one of the options that we've gone through, that we're going through, is with Arizona State University. I don't know if you guys have ever heard about their Universal Learner program, but they offer an entire selection of first-year college courses for gen eds, and it's $25 to register to take the class. And it gives them the college experience because they actually do have classes that are instructor-led. So you're in the class, it's virtual, you're in a class with other learners and a professor to reach out to if you need some help. And so with that, they get the experience without having to pay, you know, $150 if they're out of the zone for ACC, or having to pay again if they fail a class. You're only out the $25. And we find that it's a really good way to expose younger teens to college level coursework without this huge, oh my gosh, I spent so much on this reaction afterwards. And then if you decide that at the end of the class they can take a proctored test, if they pass it and you're like, yes, I like this is great, they did really well in the class, at that point you actually pay to have the class transferred as college credit. And these courses are designed to transfer to the majority of colleges because they're coming from Arizona State University. But it gives you some more flexibility on being able to have the college experience without the college price tag. And so that can be really useful for your kids, especially so ASU. My son is going to be taking this one class next year. It's calculus for engineers. Okay, that's a real hardcore class. And I'd much rather him take it and potentially fail now because it's got a high failure rate. It's calculus for engineers. But I'd rather have him take that class now and possibly fail at a $25 price tag instead of $150, $400, $1,000, $1,500 if they waited to take it in college. And that'll give him some more confidence to be able to move forward with that. And it's really easy. You go and you register online on their site, and they email you. It's all really, really simple. And then that's basically it. You know, if you decide you want to take that credit and keep it as a transfer credit, then you just pay them. And then if you don't, then you're just out the $25, and you can still put it on a high school transcript for college admission purposes, saying, hey, my kid took this class, fulfilled this class requirement required for admission, and then be able to still have that. So it's kind of like dual enrollment without it actually being dual enrollment. And then you have ACE credits. So ACE credits are the credits that come recommended from the American Council on Education for college credit requirements. Go ahead and come on in. And so ACE credits are, passing them represents an equivalency, a college level equivalency to learn or to be able to earn those credits that should transfer to your degrees. Now, there are several different platforms where you can earn these credits that also help reduce costs. And within these different platforms, you can see which classes will transfer to which colleges. And each one of them, they partner with different universities. So, as an example, there's one, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but sophia.org. And sophia.org, you pay a monthly subscription fee. I want to say it's about $100. And you can take as many classes as you need to. You can take 2 at a time, but they're college equivalent credit classes. So depending on the university that your child may end up going to, those classes might transfer. And if they don't, they can still transfer as an elective credit, or they can still go on a high school transcript for college admission purposes. If they're taking human biology, it's still going to be a biology course, which fills the science requirement that most colleges require for admission. So even if you wanted to go that route, you could. Study.com has a whole slew of ACE credit options too. And they have a family homeschool plan where you can take all of these courses, and then if you decide you want to go ahead and go through the proctored exam to be able to get the college credit, you upgrade them to the college accelerator plan. And it's still less because you could, in theory, take 4 classes over a semester under that homeschool plan, and that's right around $60 a month. And then when you're ready to take those for college credit, you upgrade that month and you take 4 exams in that month, and it's $200, and you've just taken 4 exams that all count for college credit. And so that can make a huge difference when you're talking about trying to earn these credits that you want for being able to go forward with a college education. Another option is Mooc sites. Mooc stands for Massive Open Online Courses like Coursera and edX. Now, a lot of these places also have certificates of completion that you can earn. Now, with these, they may or may not qualify for college credit depending on who taught them and how successfully you completed them. But it's an option because they actually have a variety of classes that are taught by professors, from Yale, from Harvard, from MIT. And once you get that certificate of completion, that may very qualify for credit or a partial credit because you've shown, hey, I've done the work, I passed, and here's my proof. And a single course upgrade to be able to get that certificate of completion, they start at $29 per course. And that's huge when you're talking about potential for college credit. And then if you really wanted to, you could even do a subscription plan for Coursera, and it's a few $100s for the year. It's like $400. And if you're going through and doing all of these courses where you're earning these certificates of completion, you might be able to transfer all of them over. And even if you don't, they still fulfill high school graduation requirements for college admission purposes. So you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone at a significantly lower cost. And when you're talking about college, college is expensive, especially here. There's just no getting around that. But it's about trying to figure out how else you can get those credits that you need to be able to graduate. And then I don't know if you guys have ever heard of ALEKS or not, ALEKS. So they're another one. They also have ACE credits, and those come highly recommended in a lot of circles. You go through, you complete the class, and they have single course options and they have monthly subscription options. And all of it becomes so much more affordable. And because they're ACE certified, they're recognized as college equivalent credit. So even if, let's say you take, English 101 at one of them, in theory, it should transfer. Now, because they're ACE credit, you always want to check to make sure that the school you're looking at will take them. But again, even if it doesn't, it can still fulfill the admission requirements for college. All right, so now let's say you don't want to do the courses and you're just like, but there's got to be another way. Maybe my kid doesn't like to sit in front of a computer or, like to pay attention to lectures, because, even as adults, sometimes we don't really want to sit and listen to lectures. Let's be real. So there are alternatives. One of those is called the Dsst Credit. It's the Dante Subject Standardized Test. So these tests used to be only offered to military personnel, but now it has become available to everyone. They're administered by Prometric. And there are about 30 different exams that can be taken that if you pass, they are for college credit. They will transfer for college credit. And they have all sorts of different subjects from humanities, sciences, histories, English, all of these different things, physical science, social sciences, technologies, business. And if you take these courses, they would transfer because they've been a standard military test for forever. And there are so many free resources that are available to study for these tests too, which makes it so much easier to prep for them. So one of them is Free CLEP Prep. And Free CLEP Prep has test prep for the DSST credits. And then you can go from there, and then you just have to schedule it with Prometric and pay Prometric to take these tests. And so that helps out a lot too, just because, it goes back to it can get really expensive. All right, there's another group of tests called the T-Cep Tests. They're the Thomas Edison Credit by Exam Program Examinations, TECEP. So these are amazing. They allow you to demonstrate college level knowledge, and then you receive college credit on a transcript from Thomas Edison University saying that you've accomplished their standard, you've met their standards, you've passed this class, you've earned the credit. So now you've got these credits. Now, all you pay for is the exam. Their materials, their study materials for these courses are actually online on their website. And for a lower level class, it's $50 to take the exam. You can take them online. It's another proctored exam. And they may or may not have different places set up to do testing, like Prometric centers, like we were talking about for the DSST. And if you want, they even have some upper level courses available, which is a big deal because the upper level courses are the ones that get a lot harder. Now, let's say that you have a student who's really motivated and they've done all of this study, they wanted to learn, they went through it, and they feel like they know it. You can actually go in and pay $75 to take this upper level test to earn them upper level college credit. And when you think about how you can accomplish that for them, it becomes entirely realistic for these kids, for these teenagers, to earn an associate's degree by the time that they're done at 17 or 18, and be well on their way to a bachelor's degree by the time that they're done with what would normally be high school. It's a huge difference. And, as a parent, we want our children to be more successful, and we want them to not have towering amounts of debt, keeping them from reaching the adulthood milestones that we know they want to reach. So that's why I'm saying there are so many different alternatives to earning this college credit to get that college degree. So at the very end, all they're focused on is doing their courses that are designated for their majors. So like my son, who wants to be an engineer, he would be able to get all of his gen ed courses done, get a few of his lower level engineering requirements, like the calculus for engineering at ASU, Arizona State, and then all he's left with is the stuff that he has to do on site for whatever engineering program he ends up with. So he's shaved off 3, maybe 2.5 years of college, and so he'll be done by the time he's about 19, and he'll have his bachelor's degree, and he'll have the experience, and he won't have all of this debt behind him. Something else that can help out is professional certifications. So classes like the ones that we teach at Embark Learning Center, they offer industry standard certifications in IT. And certain universities, like Western Governors University as one of them, will take these certifications and actually award college credit for them. So you can earn that and have it apply to a computer science degree or an information technology degree through certain universities. So they've gotten these certifications that translate into college credit hours depending on the college that you're looking at. And so that's another way that all of a sudden now you've chopped down their tuition costs. And it's so, with all of the opportunities out there, I wish that they would have been around when I went to college. Because back then it was all about AP tests and CLEP tests, and you take these to get a couple college credit hours, and that was it. And so if you started out with 8 hours in college credit or 12 hours, it was like, wow, you're awesome, that's amazing. With these opportunities, these kids have the chance to start college as a college junior or even a college senior. You just have to learn how to make it work. And so it goes beyond the dual enrollment classes at ACC or even some of the online programs, like A&M has an online program that they have too. But they're all more geared towards traditional learning where you're in a class, you're with professors, and it takes a whole different route towards your education. So it kind of goes back to, what are your goals? What do you want to achieve? What does your teen want to achieve? If they're really serious and they're motivated, they could complete 75%, 80% of their college degree before they ever finish high school. And without $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, $80,000 in the hole. And it's a really big deal when you're a teenager starting out. I went to school and I had student loans. I still have student loans 20 years later, and more than 20 years later. But it's like they're there. They're not going away. And if I had had these opportunities, that would never have been an issue. It wouldn't have caused my adult life to start later than I would have wanted it to. And it prevents these kids from being able to, or it helps them rather, to help them become more stable early on as an adult and really get to experience what it means to be an adult without feeling like, oh my gosh, I've got all of these student loans that I have to pay. How am I going to do that at $1,000 payments a month? For those of you that have gone through and had student loans, you guys realize that those payments, some of those are really unrealistic. Regardless of the income that you say is coming in the house, they're like, well, you can afford this. It's like, I really can't. Like, I can't do it. I can't afford to pay $1,000. Yeah, sure, maybe we bring in $6,000 a month in income, but we have a mortgage, we have kids, we have car payments, we have insurance payments, we have all of these other things. And all of a sudden, $6,000, that sounds really good up front, it doesn't mean anything when you have to pay the Department of Education $1,000 a month or $1,200 a month. And these kids, they don't understand that that's what's going to happen when it comes time for college, when they're being told, hey, well, what about college loans? But it doesn't have to be that way. And then if you start them early enough, then they can take advantage of all of these opportunities to be able to earn the college credit without the college debt. So that's pretty much what I've got. I'm open for questions if you guys want to ask anything. I know we've got a couple of people that just kind of came in, so I'm open for discussion. To kind of recap, we talked about Arizona State Universal Learner Credits, ACE credits, and alternatives to credit through being able to take different types of college level tests that do not include AP and CLEP testing. So.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Age restrictions?
Not on all of them. For the ACE credit classes, like on Sophia or study.com, you can take those as early as 12 or 13. And that's the recommended age just because of the level of the material. They have to be able to understand it. It's taught at a college level, and unless they really comprehend that at that age, it's better for them to wait until they can. So.
What's the cap, or is there no cap?
For ACE?
Yeah, for any of them, like as far as age as well.
So for all of them, for ACE credits, there is no cap. Adults can take ACE credit classes to earn credits too if they wanted to go back to school. So you can totally do that. With ASU, it's the same thing. You can actually earn credits all the way through. Adults that want to go back to school can take advantage of the universal learner credits. It's pretty neat. Any other questions? Yes.
I've looked at the ASU universal credits,
Uh-huh.
and so is that, I came in late.
That's okay.
Missed it. Is that what you said your son is doing to do the engineering route?
Yeah, he's starting that this year. So for the past couple of years, he's been doing Sophia and a little bit of study.com to earn some ACE credits for gen eds. But for where he's at now, so technically our son has earned about 36 college credits, and it's been through ACE credits. Some of them will transfer, and some of them will not. And some of them are elective credits. Like there's a Greek philosophy class that he took because he thought it would be fun, and he enjoyed it. But that's going to be an elective credit because he wants to be an engineer. So this coming year, he's going to be going through the ASU side because of that calculus for engineering, and then he'll be able to earn college credit for that. Does that answer your question?
It did. What is ACE?
ACE is the American, I have it written down, I can never remember, it's American College Equivalent. American Council on Education for College Equivalency. I missed a couple of words. But yeah, that's what it is. And they're courses that have been reviewed and designated as college level to be able to earn college credit for them.
And ASU takes it?
ASU does take them. Yeah, so you could actually take these classes from study.com and from Sophia or Alex and be able to transfer them to ASU to pursue a degree with Arizona State. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of courses. If you go to study.com, they have something like 1,500 or 2,000 different universities and colleges across the country that accept these credits. Yeah, so they're a fantastic resource to find that. Sophia has a list as well. Alex, I think, has a list, but you have to register to be able to see it. And Alex is ALEKS. So, yeah, good question. Any other questions?
So what are the information on your website?
We haven't put the information on our website up yet because we're going to do this first, and so I'm planning on putting this up there on our site. Yeah, any other questions? All right, well, that's what I've got, and with 9 minutes to spare, so you guys can go get in line for lunch early.